So can we make a Brawl deck with no rares or mythics on Arena? Let's find out. And the deck is featuring Elas, il-Kor, Sadistic, Pilgrim. We're playing Black-White Aristocrats. I decided on a 2-color commander for a couple of reasons. First, I think 3, 4, and 5 color decks are too hard to build on a budget on Arena specifically, because we're limited by wildcards and not price. So that means Shocklands cost as much as Temples or Snarls. And monocolor decks, I don't think will have enough tools at only common and uncommon to build a cohesive deck that can actually win. So I settled on 2 colors. I also wanted a commander that was pretty cheap so we can get our game plan online right away. We could recast it several times without it being an issue, and supported a strategy that doesn't require a lot of rares or mythics. So that's how I ended up with Black-White Aristocrats. Let's start with going over some of the Blood Artist effects. We have actual Blood Artist, but we also have Elbed Scavengers, Cruel Celebrant, Sir Conrad the Grim, Cicerin Voidborn, Venerated Stormsinger, Vengeful Blood Witch, and Zulaport Cutthroat. Oh, and of course Bastion of Remembrance is in here too. These are all really cheap ways to drain our opponent whenever we sacrifice creatures. But of course, in order to get these, we need to actually sacrifice creatures. We have Bartholomew from the recent Ixalan set, Cartel Aristocrat, Umbral Caller Zealot, and while not as efficient, we have Denethor Ruling Steward. Oh, and I nearly forgot, we also have Phantom Train from Final Fantasy. This card was great and limited, and it's also really powerful in this deck. As for creatures to sacrifice, ideally we're going to sacrifice one of the creatures that can make us a token. Carrier Thrall, Doomed Traveler, Dwarven Castle Guard, Hunted Witness, Imperious Oligarch, Indebted Spirit, Infestation Sage, Nested Shambler, and Azok's the Clatter King. Our removal and card draw packages are pretty straightforward here. Village Rites effects and cards like Swords to Plowshare and Anguish Unmaking. You can find my full list down in the video description below over at Moxfield. Okay, so before we get into the gameplay, I want to talk about some of the alchemy cards in the deck. These are honestly some of my favorite cards to look through when I'm building a Brawl deck, since they do things that we can't really do in paper. So for non-creature alchemy cards, we have Bailout, Tasteful Offering, and Xander's Wake. Bailout is a great feign death effect where we can pay 1 black at instant speed, and until end of turn, target creature you control gains when this creature dies. Return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. It deals 1 damage to each opponent, but it has overload for 2 black. So if our opponent goes to board wipe, or if we overload this and then sacrifice all of our creatures, we can do a ton of damage to our opponents. Tasteful Offering is a sorcery where we get a 2-time boon with whenever we sacrifice 1 or more permanents. Seek a non-land card, make a food. This essentially reads the next time we sacrifice 2 creatures, we draw 2 cards. It's great, it's cheap, and I love it in this deck. And then finally we have Xander's Wake. It's a 2-mana enchantment that whenever 1 or more creatures we control die, we can draft a card from the spellbook. This ability only triggers once each turn, but we can trigger it on our opponent's turn. The best card in my opinion we can get from the spellbook is Morbid Opportunist. We already have a copy of it in our deck, which means we can have 2 or 3 Morbid Opportunists in play at once, which is drawing us a bunch of cards. As for the creature alchemy cards, we have Faithful Disciple, Golden Sidekick, and Seething Skitter Priest. So I know I said we have no rares in the deck, but Faithful Disciple lets us get around that. Whenever it dies, we draft a card from its spellbook. In my opinion, the priority goes Cathar's Crusade, Divine Visitation, Anointed Procession, Authority of the Consuls, and then kind of whatever else you might need in that moment. Cathar's Crusade is the one that's performed the best in testing for me. It can take all of your small idiot creatures and make them into giant threats. That's why I love our creatures that make tokens with keywords like flying, so they're even harder to block. Golden Sidekick is another powerhouse card. It's a 2-mana 1/3 with flying and lifelink, and whenever we gain life, a random creature card in our hand perpetually gets +X/+X, where X is the amount of life you gained. Much like Cathar's Crusade, you can use this to grow cheap creatures in your hand into pretty big threats very quickly, especially since our commander does provide life gain. And this also has lifelink and goes great with Cathar's Crusade. And finally, Seething Skitter Priest. It's a 4-mana 3/3 Phyrexian Cleric with Toxic 1, and when it enters, creatures we control and creatures in our hand perpetually gain. When this creature dies, you create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. While it's unfortunate we can't block with these Phyrexian Mights, it's still a great way to turn every creature we have in the deck into something that makes another body. Let's jump into some gameplay and see how it performs. Alright, let's see how we're going to do. Game 1, we're against Dyadrine, Synthesis Amalgam. So this is the new one from Edges of Eternity that cares about counters. We're going first. We have 2 lands. We do have Sir Conrad, so hopefully we can get some card draw to be able to get to it. This is a risky-ish keep, but I'm going to do it just because we have our lands. We have another 2-drop. It's pretty interactive, especially being able just to kind of get rid of this as much as possible. Now, like I said in the video, in the intro, a lot of the meta base is pretty basic land centric. So that's just because I want to have untapped land so we can actually play all of our things like on curve. All right, let's just get in here. So far, so good. We'll see what they do. So they can play this. We do get to just remove it if we need to. And we're also 1 land away from Sir Conrad. Yeah, I've tested this deck for like a week, and it almost beat a pretty tuned stacks deck. So I'm really enjoying this as a budget option. And if you want to do like a non-budget version of it, I think you can upgrade it pretty easily. So we can sacrifice an on-land permanent to exile. So we probably want to exile that. Let's get into combat first. I think we just exile that. Yeah. I don't know if I draw that many cards. Yeah, I don't want them to put a whole bunch of counters on the creatures and then draw like a million cards. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. We still have the Bitter Triumph, so we're doing well here. And if you want like an upgraded version of this deck, definitely let me know down in the comments and I can work on that. I think that'd be really fun. I think I like this version more because it's pretty unique. There are obviously some like repeat cards, but you really have to like dig when you're trying to do this stuff on a budget. Sure. Colossal Majesty. Play their commander. So they get 2 counters. It's non-legendary, right? Yeah, so we can Bitter Triumph it here. I'm not going to yet. Oh, we can also just Anguish Unmaking. I think we'll just do this. We'll just play Sir Conrad. And then we'll just swing in. If they block my commander, they lose theirs, so I don't really care. We have Sir Conrad out now, and we have we have removal for days. And Sir Conrad also, we can just start having people mill. So, Feldar Retreat, get a land, get a cat, station. I'm tempted to blow up the Feldar Retreat just because they can start putting a bunch of counters on stuff. That's probably what I'll end up doing. Yeah, let's exile that. And let's go to combat. And let's just get in there. And we'll play a land and say go. So far the deck is like... I mean, they've played a bunch of rares, and turns out if we just remove their things, it doesn't really matter. So, turns out removal and turning things sideways is pretty good. Sure. Let's just cut this down right now. Because if they have like inspiring victory, or not inspiring victory, inspiring voice or anything, all right. And we got there. So, GG, game 1, deck. They just didn't do anything. We removed all their stuff and kind of hit them in the face. All right, we're loading into game 2 against Laelia, the Blade Reforged. Powerful mono red deck. Powerful just mono red commander in general. We're going first. We do have 2 lands, and we actually have card draw this time. So I'm going to keep this. Because we have village rights. We really want to get something that we want to village rights. We're going to have this enter tapped. So we can actually like blow something up. Like a Shambling Ghast is perfect, right? So our options are we can either Shambling Ghast or just play our commander. I'm going to opt just to play our commander here. We still have Vengeful Blood Witch. Even if they remove our commander, doesn't look like they are. So we got another white source, which is unfortunate. Let's play our Ghast. All right, they don't have any instants based on how they're playing. Let's just go to combat, get in there, and let's just play Witch Enchanter tapped. So next turn, if we get a black source, we can potentially village rights this. So they get a land, put a counter on this. It's only 3 here, and I think I'd rather sacrifice this to draw a card. So, but if we can get the treasure, I'm gonna say no blocks. I'd rather sacrifice it to village rights. Whenever you sack one or more permanents, this card is really cool. So now we're in an interesting spot. So I can either village rights my Ghast and make a treasure token, or I just mortify their commander. I think I just mortify their commander here. Let's just get rid of it. If we can wait to maybe get a second swamp, we'll be in like a better spot. Because then we can potentially like a Tasteful Offering into village rights, returning. There it is. So now we have such better options, right? So now we can simply like Vengeful Witch. And we can just instant speed. Let's actually make the boon here. We'll just do a little setup. This card's really great. I talked about it in the video. It's just it's a solid card advantage spell. I love it. I guess I'm in the video. In the deck tech. So yeah, now we get to just go to combat here. Swing in. And we will village rice at instant speed, at sorcery speed, but that's fine. Drain our opponents, we'll make a treasure. We'll seek a non-land permanent. It's a fracture. All right, we can't quite get rid of Laelia with that, unfortunately, but we can definitely go for the Throat It. So let's just go ahead and get rid of it. And we still have fracture. All right, they scooped it up. Let's go. Lots of removal. Cheap, low to the ground deck. It's powerful. I love this deck so much. Let's go into game number 3. All right, game number 3 against Go-Shintai of Life's Origin. Let's see how we do. Right now we're 2-0, so hopefully we can stay that way. Opponent's going first. We have a really good hand, right? We have Fanatical Offering. We have Denethor. All our colors. So yeah, this is an easy keep here. Hopefully they're not like a super control-y deck. But we'll see. All right, tap land, and we hit our Dwarf. Nice. Dwarven Guard, great. From Final Fantasy, dies, makes a 1/1, which we just want a lot of those creatures in this deck. Indebted Spirit also is really good. Let's play a Plains, let's play our commander. Hopefully they don't have removal, but we have Blood Artist and Bastion. Like, we have plenty of other effects, so we'll just get our commander out first. If we draw land, we probably just slam Bastion. If we don't, it's probably just Dwarven Castle Guard. We hit a land, so let's get the Bastion of Remembrance out, I think. We'll just get another Edict effect. Not Edict effect, another Blood Artist effect in play. So we can start, and it's an enchantment, so it's a lot harder to remove. We're against 5 color, so that doesn't really matter. Smothering Tithe. Sure. Do I want to pay the 2? No, we're not going to. So I don't even know if we actually care about that. I mean, we can draw a whole bunch of cards off of this. I don't know if we care about giving them one more card. I don't think we do. I think we'll give them another treasure. Honestly, let's just like develop our board here. You probably should bestow it instead, but I'm just trying to get like creatures out on board. Sithering Skitter Priest also just really good. So we'll see what they do against this. Like, they haven't done a whole lot. Okay, so now they're playing Go-Shintai, sure. We have removal for it. Let's see what we draw. Resolve. Well, not going to pay here. So we probably Ruthless Lawbringer, either blow up Smothering Tithe or blow up Go-Shintai. I'm partial. They have enough just to recast Go-Shintai, but that's all they do on their turn. There's also the argument to blow up Sithis Harvest Hand. There's a lot of like good options here. We don't really have a 1-drop. I think we'll play this. Let's sacrifice our Indebted Spirit. Let's get a token. let's exile their Smothering Tithe here. Or destroy, right? Yeah, we'll just destroy that. And we'll... I think we'll just say go here. We can hold up blockers. I just want to give them that much more mana. Oh, I forgot they could just use Go-Shintai to bring it back. I probably should have just exiled it. Draw. Yeah, well, we can pay the 2 this time, I think. Actually, do we want to pay the 2 here? What do? We just play a 2-drop if we pay the 2? Honestly, that's fine. Let's go to combat first. Yeah, we'll do this. And then we can exile either Go-Shintai yet. So now they don't have enough for... Oh yeah, they still can play, but they're spending their entire turn recasting it. Yeah, let's just exile it. Let's sacrifice our 1/1 here. So I could get rid of this Smothering Tithe, but I'd rather get rid of their commander and force them to, if they want to replay it, they're spending their entire turn to do that. And our goal is just to kind of make them waste as much time as possible. Because we have like a 1/1 flyer. We do need to get rid of this Sithis, so that it is going to gain them a lot of life. So thankfully we can flash this back. We're going to decline. So we can exile their Sithis. I think we're just going to destroy it here. Yeah, let's just get rid of their Sithis. I don't want them drawing any more cards. And I'd rather get rid of Hallowed Haunting, personally. And we can go to combat. And we'll just swing, I think, just 1 in the air here. And let's play Castle Guard. Alright, so we gotta get rid of that Hallowed Haunting. They can't... I just don't want them drawing a whole bunch of cards and gaining a lot more life. Because we're kind of in race mode against them. 3 different name cards, opponent chooses one of them. Sure, let's see what they got. So, opponent chooses one of these cards. Shuffle, so they're gonna end up like blowing up my entire board. Does that just actually kill them though? Opponent chooses one of those cards. Shuffle that card into your library. So let's shuffle that into their deck. I think if Elesh Norn is going to work how I want it to, I'm pretty sure... Take action. I think they take a bunch of damage here. And I think they do just die. Yeah, they just killed themselves. All right, GG. They didn't think about how many death triggers I was going to get on the stack, so we'll take those. All right, we're doing a bonus 4th game since our first 3 went pretty quick. We're against the Speed Demon. We're 3-0 with this budget deck right now. Again, no rares, no mythics, all uncommons and commons. We are going to mulligan this. We don't have our 2 colors, unfortunately. So let's just go ahead and mulligan. Great, we'll keep this. We have Corpse Knight, we have removal, we have Ruthless Lawbringer, so we have a bunch of removal. This seems like a solid keep against the deck. Against them, and then for us. Cool, let's keep. Let's just slam a Swamp and say go. So let me know in the comments how you've liked this video, if you want more budget decks like this. All right, so we're going to discard a card, which is fine. I think we discard Ruthless Lawbringer. Maybe it's a land. I'm going to discard the Lawbringer. I'm okay with that. Yep, and let's play Elas il-Kor. So at the beginning of your end step, draw X cards with X life, where X is your speed. Okay, so it's like a mono black speed deck? Sure. Okay, fine. Take action. Let's just enter this tapped. Do we just slam Corpse on, or do we just wait? Because they play another Edict. I don't want to lose like another creature for nothing. Let's just see what they do. Because we can just destroy this if we need to. If you remember the top card, put that card in here and lose. Okay. So let's get rid of that. Let's just not let them kind of get free value. And let's just slam our commander back out. Hopefully they don't have removal again for it, but we're getting our lands. So I'm not that concerned. And again, is it necessary to like win with it? It's just easier to have out. Sure. All right, so they destroy our commander. Fine. We'll put it back in the command zone. That's all they do, though. I'm okay with that. Choose not exile that card. If a gift was promised, you may cast that card from your exiled. Sure, so they're going to exile our Mortify. Sure. Let's play you. Let's Corpse Knight. This is one where, unfortunately, we don't have black for Malakir Rebirth. So they like mono black control. They're like being annoying, but it's not the end of the world right now. I guess I probably should have actually just played this as a land. But they're gonna let us do this. So let's slam this. Let's see what they do. They could mortify this. At which point, I honestly think we just Eviscerators inside it. We could Malakir it also. So they're gonna do that. So I think I'm between Malakir and Eviscerator's Insight. I think we'll just Malakir it. Yeah, let's keep this thing alive. Let's see if they have another removal spell. They can obviously just mortify it again next turn, but that's fine. There's an argument to like keep the Malakir so we can like have a second black source. But if they're gonna pay 3, like let's just keep this thing alive. Let them waste more removal on it if they really want to. I'm okay with that. Cool. So we have Dwellers, we have Eviscerators. Let's just honk honk beep beep. And we'll just hold up Eviscerator's Insight, I think. Actually, no, we're gonna use it instance at sorcery speed. Let's just sacrifice this and draft a card from the spellbook. I love Cathar's Crusade in this deck. Okay, cool. So we get a land. We still have this. We have Fatal Push. We'll just pass the turn. We have like good removal, and we have a Cathar's Crusade now, which is why I love these spellbook creatures, like where we can draft things, since it's a way to put rares into the deck that we don't have access to because we're not playing any. So it's just an easy way to get a card like Cathar's Crusade, which can really easily win you games when you're just getting a whole bunch of cheap tokens. And let's say my go. Cool. Another planes. So we don't have any 1-drops in here, do we? We do have the 3-drop. So we can actually... So I guess we have a couple options. We can Rite of Oblivion that. We can also just play our commander. They remove it. We take a bunch of damage. I think we do need to just remove this thing, unfortunately. So let's just do this. And let's set up the Cathar's Crusade. We're not in any rush to it is enchantment though. We don't do that. We can return a creature. 2 creatures may have value 2 or less. So we can return our Ruthless Lawbringer or our Faithful Disciple back. We're not getting full value from it, but I think we're going to do it anyways. Just so we're pressuring the board here. So we have to remember they do have Mortify, so they can get rid of our Cathar's Crusade if we slammed it that turn. I would rather them want to remove this where we get another... Alright, so they exile everything. Sure. Alright, so we have Path to Exile. Let's What does this do? When this creature attacks, you lose 1 life, and this creature endures 1. And speed is if an opponent lost 1 or more life. Let's just see if we cast our commander, they do just kill it. But then we can play Cathar's Crusade, maybe? So, I don't know. Let's see what they do. Sure. So they're going to say black, and then this can become a 2/3. We do race them better. And again, they can mortify it, which is what I expect them to do. Sure. So I'm tempted to path my own creature, but we're going to hold the path up for this. I probably should have just held Fatal Push. But now that I know they didn't make a land drop, I don't want to give them a land. I should have had it tap for a black instead. So that's on me. All right, we have Witch Enchanter. I'm actually just going to play Witch Enchanter because we can get rid of their mana rock thing there. And let's just Fatal Push this. Let's just get rid of it now. And we'll say go. I didn't want to wait to do Cathar's Crusade because if they get a land, they can then play their commander again. And they're clearly missing land drops, so I just don't want them to have any mana. Sure, Leyline Axe. Cool. All right, so now we can just rain on outlaw creatures. We can just slam Cathar's Crusade here, though. And let's just go to combat. If they go to equip the axe, we just kill the creature. It's easy. We're just trying to keep their board empty. Unfortunately, Witch Enchanter is a outlaw. So they redirected it, and it didn't matter. And now we get a hold up removal for their creature. Live and learn. Outlaws are warlocks. Witch Enchanter's a warlock. Sure, destroy all creatures. So destroy all the non-legendary creatures, of course. Sure. Fortunately, we can't do anything, so we're going to pass the turn here. Start your engines. Create a black zombie. Sure. Sure. Let's see what they do. So I'm assuming they have a land on top. So we can't just get rid of this, but I'm going to just slam our commander here. And we're going to pray that it doesn't, like, die again, because if it dies again, we probably just put it into the graveyard at this point. Crawler, sure. Or no, definitely want to get rid of that. Sure, so they have another removal spell. And we'll put it back in. Beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. Yeah, when we have only instant speed stuff, so let's just wait. Yeah, now we have that on the stack. Now let's go ahead and get rid of that. I also want to draw a card. I don't mind their drawing too, because I can just remove their commander again. So, okay, cool. Judge, Magistrate, something or other. Great. Yeah, good enchantment. Beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you control a demon, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Sure. Let's just swords that. Let's play Judge. And let's enchant him. I mean, there's actually an argument just to play the Spirit on, like, by itself. To grow the creatures more. Actually, I'm going to do that. It gives us more bodies. And again, we have Path, so even if they finally get their last land, we do get to just blow that up. They, of course, if they get a land from Path, so they, can potentially just recast it next turn, but they have to draw another land in order to do that. And they're losing 2 life off of this, so we actually just beat them on our turn. GG. Let's go 4-0 with an absolute budget deck. So let's go into the wrap-up and kind of go over everything. All right, so we ended up going 4-1 with the deck against a wide variety of mono red, mono black. We had green white counters, and then 5-color Go-Shintai. This deck does work, right? It is low to the ground. It can get in before all of these slower, powerful decks kind of get their engines going, which is why it's so powerful. People don't want to block like a 2-2 with Death Touch, or maybe they can't answer a 1-1 flyer enough turns in a row where then you have Blood Artists and Bastion of Remembrance is out. The Spellbook card, Faithful Disciple, is just an absolute powerhouse. Cathar's Crusade is an absolute winning condition in this deck, so if you have the option to draft it, I usually take that. I'll also consider Divine Visitation, and the other one is it's Anointed Procession, because we have enough things that die when they make tokens that we get extra tokens for things for our commander. Again, this deck it's not a lot of lands and a command tower. And then we have all the MDFCs that we could play untapped. This deck has gone through quite a few iterations. Originally, I think I had more of the 1-drop creatures, but I decided to get rid of the ones that make tokens without keywords. So Haunted Witness is lifelink, and then Doom Traveler makes a Flying Spirit. I like these better, and then Afterlife make Flying Spirits. I like these better than the 1-drops that just make a vanilla creature, because with Cathar's Crusade, or with, where is it? Where's the bat? Where is it? Golden Sidekick. We can, well, the Golden Sidekick doesn't matter as much for the tokens, right? But having things that have some keywords on them is really good with this. And then the tokens with Cathar's Crusade. So let me know your thoughts on the deck if you want a non-budget version of it. But honestly, the budget version is so fun. You should really check it out. Alrighty, nerds. Let me know your thoughts on the deck in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll see you nerds in the next one.